What's up, everybody? What's going on? It's your man Ken Billions checking in. Yo, this is my first video of the year. I'm so excited to come chop it up with y'all. I hope you guys spent your New Year's right. I hope you ended your fourth quarter amazing and you was doing fly things with beautiful people. And I hope you ready to go because we got a long year, but it's going to go fast. But like I said, this is my first video of the year, and this video is how to find the perfect relationship. I want to start the year off with this topic because relationships is, just something that seems to be on everybody's mind. How to get a mate, how to keep a mate. What's the secret to success? What's the secret to marriage? Relationships is something that it's interesting about the relationships because the relationships don't move with the technology. So our technology is moving super fast, but people's relationship approach is super primitive. But I'm going to give you some fire game on how you should approach a relationship. If you are really looking to be with somebody, and I think I know how to make it successful, but I'm going to go at it from a different angle. I'm going to let the love and light people deal with that angle. I'm going to deal with the game. So, wherever you at, turn me up, tag somebody, share the video, holla at your mom and them, and we're going to get right into it. But like I said, it's my first video of the year. Man, I'm so hyped and ready. I'm excited. I'm glad that you're here. I missed you. This year is all about the game, right? So messing with the kid this year, you're going to have to keep your notebooks out because I'm spitting all fire throughout the year. But you know my motto. My motto is I like to trade value for value. So you see that Cash App, that's my collection plate. So I'm going to give you some game. And if it's anything that you can use, if you find it valuable or it's substance of what I'm saying, make sure you tip a player, right? Because why? Fair exchange, no robbery, right? Say it with me. I want you to get in the mind frame of that this year. Fair exchange, no robbery. You know why? Because people be game whores, right? People be rolling up to different platforms and stealing the game and don't be putting nothing back in the collection plate. I don't mind when people go to church and they put money in the collection plate. If that person, that man, woman, or child, or that choir, if they make you feel a certain type of way, you exchange value for value, right? But that's what we're talking about right now. How to find the perfect relationship for 2020. And I'm going to go in a different direction as I always do. But before I start, make sure you like and share the video. Now, if your pockets is tight, right, because you did all the Christmas shopping and you ain't got nothing to give to the collection plate, all good. Make sure you share me on your page. Don't be scared. I'm going to try not to curse, so I ain't going to get you in trouble with your church folks, all right? But again, the topic is how to find the perfect relationship. Now, the way that I'm going to tell you how to find the perfect relationship is for you to be asset-minded. Asset-minded. Now, being asset-minded in the relationship approach is not the way people usually move. People use be game goofy in their approach to relationship. Look, many people want to find love, but they go about it the wrong way. They have a take mentality or a liability mentality, not an asset mentality. Look, relationships don't fail because it's people falling out of love with each other or somebody's infidelity, blah, blah, blah. No, people don't have an asset mentality when it comes to relationships. But I get it. We all been watching TV when we was young, and we get our concept of relationships from Disney Channel, right? It's a lot of fantasy, but we don't even understand that our approach to relationship has everything to do with the marketplace, because relationships are a big business. You know how much you could get paid to be a wedding planner, or look at Valentine's Day, or look at everything that has to do with family. There's dollar signs attached to it, which is fine. That's how the market is. So our approach to relationships is based on a production. So that's why when you get a partner, they're usually a liability because they came in a relationship with a take mentality and not an asset mentality. And that's what we're going to talk about right now, how to go into a relationship asset minded. Because if you go into a relationship asset minded, then you're not just going to be in it for lovey-dovey shit. You're going to be trying to get a W, like a life W. You can't be winning at a relationship and losing at life. No, it doesn't go like that. If you're losing at life, then you're losing in a relationship. And if you think you're not, I understand. That's the fantasy aspect of it. You know, trying to have warm and fuzzy feelings. And man, listen, that happened to me in the 7th grade. And after I got my little heart broke, man, I was over that. That was fantasy, right? I was dealing with the production. I wasn't dealing with reality or the human aspect of a person. I was looking at a person as an object, all right? But before you can be in the asset mentality, we got to know what an asset is. Now, Investopedia.com says an asset is this. An asset, listen and listen clear, so you understand what it's like to come into a relationship. Now, I'm talking about romantic relationship, but any relationship. You want to be a resource. You want to be asset minded. All right, say it with me. Asset minded. Use that as an affirmation. Say, I am asset minded. All right, because when you are asset minded, man, you are indispensable. But Investopedia.com says this about an asset. An asset is a resource with economic value that an individual, corporation, or country owns or controls with the expectation that it will provide a future benefit. You know why that's important? Do you know the only benefit people expect when they get into a relationship, which is actually a liability? Marriage and children. That is the only thing people expect in a relationship. Millions of women consider a man a waste of time if it didn't lead to marriage. Millions of men consider a woman that can't give him a son, right, a waste of time, right? Because they're looking at the marriage and the children as an asset, but they are not unless the marriage actually comes with a purse or you produce a LeBron James, okay? But most people are going to produce mediocre children. I know you love them, but that's honest. Most people are going to produce mediocre children that do nothing but consume. They're not going to produce a Zuckerberg, a LeBron James. They're not going to produce an Akon. They're not going to produce a Damon Johns. They're not going to produce a Tyra Banks. They're going to produce a child that is average or below. Listen, this dealings over feelings, okay? So the expectation that most people have getting into relationship is nothing more than marriage and a child. Now, when you go into a relationship like that, that puts you in the driver's seat on the road to the permanent underclass. That is an old way of thinking. The economy was different. The market was different. Manufacturing was different. GDP was different. And that was the state that pushed people into relationships. Your grandparents didn't even know why they got married. They just did it because that was the thing to do, because groupthink was the dominant philosophy of the day. But now we use our minds and we're not going for that. We think differently because we want different outcomes, okay? So listen, let me read that again. Asset minded, okay? All right. An asset is a resource with economic value that an individual, corporation, or country owns or controls with the expectation that it will provide a future benefit. Now, when you are asset minded, you yourself coming into any situation is going to bring equity with you. Okay? When you are asset minded, you don't get in the relationship to take. You get in the relationship to add. So listen, the difference between a Disney dater and an asset-minded person, a Disney dater is attracted to people based on liking them. Now, liking them is sexual attraction, and that's fine. We can screw and just keep it moving. We don't gotta form alliances. We don't gotta get married. We don't gotta have children. If the like is based on sexual attraction, but an asset-minded person does not get with a person based on sexual attraction. They get with a person based on their ability to multiply with the person. So they're looking at somebody and they're like, holy shit, this person is an amazing person in the marketplace. I'm what they're missing. I'm the last piece of the puzzle to their empire. An asset-minded person has training. They have worked on themselves. They have done things the common person hasn't done on themselves. So they know only thing that they're missing is another asset-minded person. Now you have to ask yourself, at the top of 2020, keep it a buck. Are you a Disney dater? Are you a person talking about real love? What kind of person, 35, 40-year-old, talks like that? That's fantasy. Do you understand? Listen, that is nothing but chemicals running through you. Reality is food, clothes, and shelter. Now, that real love shit that you're talking about, you're not going to be able to get to that if those three things are an issue. If you ain't got no food, and you ain't got no clothes, and you ain't got no shelter. So you have to decide, are you an asset-minded person, or are you a Disney dater? Disney daters deal with fantasy. Disney daters are hopeless romantic. Listen to the sound of that. You are hopeless. First of all, hopeless is a terrible word, right? You're a hopeless romantic. You want to be swept off your feet. You know what? You have a purpose. Anytime you're around hopeless romantics, sell them something, right? Sell them R&B. Sell them flowers. Hopeless romantics are great for the economy because they consume, because they be in the spirit of dating, and that's great. This is why Valentine's Day is such a big holiday, because people like chocolate, people like romance novels and movies and stuff. So if you're in business, you want hopeless romantics. You just don't want to be one. Listen, man, this is game all 2020. So if you don't got your big boy drawers on and your big girl thong on, I don't know what to tell you. I'm not for everybody, right? So you have to decide, are you asset minded or are you a Disney dater, right? Now, I'm not talking to no Disney daters. I'm talking to asset minded men and women, competent men and women that walk into a room and light it up. Do you understand? Now, an asset mentality people are so valuable that they reproduce themselves and they make other people valuable. They are a missing piece to an empire. Now, you might not know it or not, but a lot of you are liabilities in relationships. You aren't the missing piece to an empire. You are the piece that ruins the empire, right? Now, let's get into character traits that are liabilities in relationships, right? Here's 4 character traits that I took down, right? One of them is people require too much damn attention. I was in a relationship one time with a girl that wanted my attention just because. Now, I picked wrong. That was my fault. So at that particular see, this is the thing about the game. The game is so fair that you could go from game goofy to being gamed up. That's what's fair about the game, because the game is just information and it's just a shift in thinking. So you can be game goofy in one season and then gamed up in another season. Well, I'll raise my hand because I was a Disney dater, right? I picked a chick because, you know what? She was good for my penis. She was very attractive, right? And I liked it, right? She just had this sex appeal to her. But after I come to my senses. And I'm like, right? And she wanted attention just because. So she wanted attention just for having a vagina. She didn't have to do anything. right? Now, a lot of guys give girls attention just because she has a vagina, right? Now, that creates bad habits in both people. Now, the girl thinks that she doesn't have to do nothing, and for a while she doesn't. But what happens is she winds up aging, and then the younger woman wind up getting the value. And because she is getting attention without doing anything, then she's going to have a problem earning in the future. Because the thing that got her attention, it hits the wall. And then people focus on younger women, right? So now for the guy, when he goes about relationships like that with females, man, he doesn't require anything. So he's going to look up with a hole in his pocket because 9 times out of 10, he ain't got no Mac. He might got a good job. He might got lucky. He might come from an inheritance. So he been dealing with women all his life, and he ain't really had to have no philosophy. So it harms both parties involved. But me, I'll tell you, I was a Disney dater. I picked the chick wrong, and she was all in my face and just wanted my attention. And I was getting frustrated because I'm like, baby girl, move around. Do a handstand, clap your fingers, sing a song, twirl, do a backflip, do something, but get out of my face. And I didn't understand that. Damn, this is my fault. I picked her like this, right? So I picked a liability that just wanted my attention. Now, if she's getting my attention, then when do I have time to put attention to me, my business, reading, self-help, growing? If she's going to require all my attention and there's not a return on investment, then I'm never going to have any energy to build up myself, right? So most people come into relationships and they require attention. Now, let me tell you something. If you're a person that likes attention, sure, I like attention sometimes, but get your attention based off results. Get your attention based off moving around. Don't stand still and expect people to look at you. The only people that could do nothing and get attention are the babies. But hell, they even do something. They kick and scream. If they're not doing that, then they're looking cute. So you got to do something as an adult other than stand still, suck your thumb, have a big butt, have muscles. No, you have to provide something of value if you want attention, right? So that is one of the ways where people come in to relationships asset minded. They come in relationships liabilities, right? Another thing, people have unfixable bad habits. Unfixable bad habits. So I like to use myself as a case study. I like to throw my own self under the bus just so you know that, you know what? I got a point of reference for a lot of these things, right? Okay, so if you did any type of hustling on the street, not necessarily drugs, just off the books kind of things, but things where you didn't get a paycheck for, it actually teaches you bad habits, right? Wall Street is operating at a certain time, right? The market. When you hustle, you jug in all times and nights, right? And what happens is you take hustling habits and try to go into the business world with those habits, and it doesn't work. In when you hustling, you don't think about operating costs, right? You don't think about business expenses. You don't keep a ledger, okay? You don't have an accountant. You don't pay taxes, right? So you have these bad habits hustling, and when you're trying to go into legit business, it's a bad thing. But it's okay if you have bad habits that are fixable. But people come into relationships with unfixable bad habits. Now, keep an eye out for people that say this. Well, this is just the way I am. Anybody that tells you, well, this is just the way I am, get the hell away from them right now, because life is about adapting and adjusting. Say it with me. Adapting and adjusting. One more time. Adapting and adjusting. Now, nobody is above game, and nobody is above correction. So if you are dealing with a person that says out of their mouth openly, well, this is just who I am, you're going to have to deal with it. Oh, nah. See, again, it's about food, clothes, and shelter. Now, if you are dealing with a person that has fixed in bad habits, and the market changes, and we might have to downsize, or we might have to change our behavior, and this person is committed to an old way of doing things that they was in another relationship with, how does that help your campaign? I don't give a damn how nice looking the man is or how pretty the girl is. If you are with a person that says out of their mouth, well, this is just who I am, and you're going to have to deal with it, and you know the direction that you want to go in is right and exact, listen, put a steel-toe boot, bend them over, kick them in the ass, get them out your life, because it's about results. This is a what have you done for me lately game, right? When you pay your mortgages, what have you done for me lately, right? Everywhere you go is what have you done for me lately, right? That's just the game. And we're in our dealings this year, not our feelings this year. So we want to observe the game, observe the market, and move accordingly, right? So that's a liability coming into your life, and I'm sure you've heard them say this, but their sex is fire, or they're too cute, or they're something about them is not allowing you to make the necessary move. Man, listen, that can't be your top draft pick that can't be coached. You understand? They got to be able to be coached. Everybody, there's dudes on the street that is nicer than cats in the NBA. They can't be coached though. You understand? So if you know that your game is efficient, proficient, and amazing, then and you got a rockhead person coming into your life talking about what they will and what they won't do, man, you got to mess with people that are cooperative. The game is about cooperation. And if you got people in your life that ain't willing to cooperate, you got to get them out of your life, man. All right? So the first liability trait is people want too much attention for nothing. The second trait is people come in with unfixable bad habits, right? The third one, this is really, really, really important. And listen clear. Now listen, let me tell you about Ken Billions this year. I'm in my game stash so much that you better have your pen and paper, right? So if you've been rocking with me for a couple years and you remember how I used to spit a few years ago, that's what we on. So it's going to be a hell of a ride. Keep coolant in your car, keep oil in your car, because it's all gas, no brakes. So listen, the third trait, the liability that people bring into relationships is they don't know how to play the role that you gave them. See, you got to understand them. Boys and girls have parent problems, right? They have authority problems. They have game problems. Don't nobody want to listen to nobody, especially right now with social justice warrioring and all this crap. Nobody wants to listen to nobody. So people have a problem playing the role that you gave them. Let me tell you something. If you are an asset-minded person, you designate roles. And that's what it's going to be, right? Not because you can't adapt, adjust, and change. No, because you know that you got the plan, right? Now, like I said, everybody can be checked. But when you got the plan, and you've done your due diligence, you've studied, you've done everything, and here's the thing, you have the results from the past to prove that you that guy and you that girl. Man, listen, anybody coming to you, listen, women have a very, very, very difficult time with this. Women have a difficult time of designating roles for niggas, right? Because women have social pressure of having babies and getting married and blah, blah. So, because of that, you have a problem designating roles for dudes because your biological clock is ticking. Therefore, you're going to make a mistake and you're going to choose the wrong person. You have to understand who is who and being able to differentiate. You got to know who's your BBC, right? If you don't know what BBC is, look it up, right? And if this dude is just a BBC and he don't read books and he's not intelligent, don't you go say, oh, I see so much potential in him. Nah, Leave him as just that. Let him come knock you down twice a month and leave it where it is. Don't you go try to make him into something with your crazy imagination. You know how many women are in that situation? They got a baby, they done married, talking about, oh, I see so much potential. No, you did not see no potential. You wanted to see that in somebody. Right? That man did not show none of that. He never said he wanted to do that. He never said he think that. He never said he wanted to be anything but what he was doing. You coming in trying to make a man. Right? But you should have left him as a BBC. Designate that role. Then you got guys that are great providers. Now listen to this. Listen to this. You got to differentiate. Is he a sucker though? Meaning, can he get slapped up? Is he a snitch? Does he have integrity? Because the thing about a job, you don't have to be a thorough man to have a job. You just have to be able to know how to do the job. Now, some women will mate with that, and then he is a hater, right? So if he's a provider, figure out how to break his pockets. Oh, man, come on. Come on, now we get into some other game. Listen, figure out how to break his pockets, one lump sum, and designate the role until you find a BBC, a provider, great sense of humor, all in one. You understand? Designate the roles. And if people don't play the role that you gave them, put the steel toe boot, bend them over, and kick them out your life. Same thing with guys. Guys have a real hard time of designating the roles. They make chicks with fire bottom, right, a number one starter, right? But she ain't got no other good qualities for the marketplace. Yo, understand something, fellas. A lot of these women, we live in a different time. A lot of these women wouldn't be nothing but concubines 2,000 years ago. You have to understand that. Every woman ain't fire. Right? So you got to be able to understand that that's a concubine. What is a concubine? You're nothing but pleasure for me. I'm not finna break down no money for it with you. I'm not about to do none of that. It's just a concubine. And that's what it is. Concubines can be very taken care of, though. That is a career. But you have to understand how to give out roles. And if people don't play their role, now this is only for the asset-minded people. People that got a little game with them. Now, this is for the asset-minded people. Now, you give out the roles. And if people don't play those roles, you got to get rid of them. But that's one of the liabilities that people come in to your life, male and female. They don't know how to play a role, right? And life is all about roles, right? You win Oscars playing a role. Let me tell you something. If Ken Billions gives you a role, you play that role all to the best of your ability. Period. Right? If John or Susie or Tamara gives you a role in their life, you play the hell out that role like Heath Ledger. You play that role so good that it might kill you, but so what? At least you died for a good cause. All right, so listen. The fourth and last one, liability, and this is huge. This is so huge. Listen, people are loyal to romance, but not loyal to a mission. Let me also tell you how this goes. Like I said, there was a time where I was a Disney dater, and I done picked some wrong females, and I done picked some women that was loyal to romance and not loyal to mission. Now, when a person is loyal to romance, the moment that romance is affected, they are going to ruin your life. Now, I have attracted some professional life ruiners. When I tell you tried to ruin me, destroy my shit, now I gotta be accountable. I'm not a victim. I picked those women. That was me, getting goofy, not knowing, right? And I had to learn from trial and error, right? So, when you pick somebody, man or woman, that is more loyal to romance than the mission, you are one argument away from them screenshotting your conversation, putting it all online. You are one argument away of them ruining things that it took you 20 years to get where you at. You are one argument away of them going in your stash. They don't care about the empire you're building. They are addicted to romance. They are addicted to being in a relationship because they don't look at you as a genius or an entrepreneur. They don't look at you as a great painter, an orator, communicator, a businessman, businesswoman. They look at you as an object. They look at you as a blankie. Do you understand? So the moment you say, you know what, we need to take a break, or they find a number in your phone, they don't have self-control. So they're going to do everything in their power. Listen, these people are very dangerous. They don't care about money. They are relationship anarchists. You need to back up, right? You cannot be with a person that cares more about relationships than the mission. I'm only talking to people that want to get somewhere in life. If you have shit and it took you a while to acquire something, you need to be with people that respect your material, respect your position, that even if y'all break up, they like, you know what, we didn't work out, but your secrets are safe with me. People play dirty. Take it from your boy, all right? So, rewind those. Check those character types out because you might have them or you might be with someone that has them. Now, if you have them, like I said, the beautiful thing about game is you can recover. All you got to do is get up under someone like me that could teach you the game, and then you won't be a game goofy person no more. You'll be game affluent, all right? Listen, relationships fail because of fantasy, not reality. Relationships aren't a Disney movie. Relationships are a journey that require execution. If you're looking for love, make sure that you're asset-minded and the person that you're looking for is asset-minded. Now, we already talked about what's an asset. You want to make sure that you're asset-minded and the person that you're looking for is asset-minded. So let's get into the traits of asset-minded people. What does an asset-minded person look like? What does it feel like? How would you know you're in the presence of an asset-minded person? Now, if you haven't shared this video, then you're not asset-minded. If you have shared the video, right on. So listen, the traits of an asset-minded person are this. They come into a person's life to multiply. Now, to know that you're an asset-minded person, you have to have a great eye for talent, not potential, yo. See, the thing about this idea about potential, people haven't even shown you anything. You have to look at something and be able to scout and be like, yo, they are just missing my expertise. Maybe it's a artist. You're attracted to an artist, but they can't dress. But they got all the other skills and you can provide that fashion sense to them. Or maybe it's a person that has great ideals, but they're not business savvy. And the only thing they're missing is a you to come in, help, on the administrative side to get their thing together, right? You come not to add, to multiply. That means if an asset-minded person is so cold because they deal with multiplication that 5 years with you is like them being with someone else for 15 years. You're going to produce more things with them in a short amount of time than they would with someone else on a long period of time. Because you come to multiply. You're only attracted to movers. You feel me? Now, a lot of people will try to shame a woman because she's attracted to men that are movers. Listen, the people that are shaming you, baby, are Disney daters. Oh, you need to like a man to just for himself. Didn't I tell you nobody gets attention just by standing still? And what kind of dude will want a girl just like me for me? What does that even mean? What does that mean? I'm not talking about you fall off. I'm not talking about, you know what, you took a risk, you got down. No. And someone supports you. But you actually want somebody to like you for you, your human side? Man, that doesn't make any sense. You don't go to the zoo just to like the animal. No, they do shit. You like the cheetah because it runs fast. You like the lion because it has strength. You like sharks because they're powerful and they smell blood and water. So you like the monarch butterfly because it's orange and black. You like a rose because it has a smell. So everything in the environment you like for a reason. So how the hell can you tell someone not to like you for a reason? Man, this is game all 2020. We getting rid of that. You understand? So a woman is not wrong because she likes a mover. She is wrong, though, if she's not asset-minded. That means she's a parasite and a leech. Because why you want a millionaire, baby, if you don't have the concepts of finance to help the man take the million to turn it to 10 million? You just want to get bags so you can have this wrestling match with other women on IG. Go ahead. Now, I don't support that. Only boss women could like a man that's a mover. Go ahead with that leveling up shit, baby. Yo, vagina don't give you no value. Who cares about that? You know what I'm saying? You only could go after a mover because you're a mover. That man got financial goals. He doesn't need a daughter. He don't need, man, listen. Now, you want a mover man or you want a trick? You have to decide. Because if you get with a mover man and want him to be a trick, what you're about to do is take him off his square. No, if you just looking for a sponsor, fine. There's a lot of them dudes. And if you're looking for one, the best sponsor for a woman, that's the best sponsor for a woman just looking for somebody that's a trick, either a man that's recently divorced, super old, or new money, especially like these rappers or NBA dudes. They got stupid money, right? They have irresponsible money where they don't keep account for it, but they will try to put you in a space to have you around the money and not give you the money. So you want to try to finagle your way out of that, but that's another kind of game. So listen, you if you're looking for a relationship for 2020, make sure you have the discernment to look for people that want to multiply, not add. Yo, another trait of an asset-minded person that's looking for a relationship, they put the purpose over the personality. Yo, let me tell you something. It's hard to be in a relationship. It's hard to be married. I know, right? And it's very difficult. And there's going to be days where you want to bail on somebody. There's going to be days where let's be real, yo. If you've been having sex with somebody for a year, you a lie if you say you're not tired of having sex with them. You do it because it's the thing to do, but to keep that going, that's you putting the purpose over personality. That's you saying, God, like, man, I done seen you in your period panties, or this man be farting, or he got a hole in the sock. We all have reasons to break up. But to stay together, you stay together because you putting the purpose, the mission over personality. Yo, we all fall short. Yo, half these chicks, if they take their wig off, my God, man, it look like stitches in their head. So for you to be a dude to be in the room and be able to deal with that, that means you putting purpose over personality. You saying I don't give a damn about that. Half these dudes stink. Half these dudes ain't really balling like that. So for you to be a woman and get behind the veil and still rock and roll with him, that means you putting the purpose over personality. That means you guys got goals and plans on paper, and you're willing to stick it out because the mission that you guys agreed to, not the mission of the relationship. No, the mission, your talents and their talents combined. Yo, if you play on a sports team, y'all are not gonna like each other all the time. And y'all gonna have to, especially in the NBA or baseball, it's a long season, and you're gonna have to figure out how to push past people's personality. Yo, A lot of people behind the scenes are corny. A lot of people behind the scenes, their jokes aren't funny. A lot of chicks, when they take their makeup off, look like Skeletor. A lot of dudes got little penises. Whatever it is, for you to push past that for the mission's sake, not the sake of the relationship. The relationship could go to hell. But you stick it out for the mission. Now, this is grown folks talk. They put purpose over personality. A third one, a huge one. Asset-minded people practice emotional intelligence. That means they don't think with their emotions, right? They observe their emotions. Because being in a relationship with somebody, especially 2020, people are going to do some real dumb shit to you. Now, here's emotional intelligence. Guy or girl, when you're in a relationship, if someone does something to you, instead of reacting, step back and ask yourself, is this personal what they're doing? Or would this person do the same thing they did to me in any relationship? All right? Now, some women are with guys that got big eyes, that like a lot of women. Step back. Don't ask yourself, how could you do this to me? Ask yourself, is this who he is? Now, then you'll have to decide whether you want to stay or not. If you ask yourself, how could you do this to me? That's you not practicing emotional intelligence. Unless the dude is pillow talking and he's telling another woman about your flaws. Now, that's personal. Now, it takes emotional intelligence to know the difference if that's part of a person's character or what they did to you is personal. Asset-minded people practice emotional intelligence. Their emotions don't drive them. Their intelligence drives their emotion. Go ahead and sock it to my pocket, put something in my Cash App, right? Another one, this is big, yo. They don't put the relationship before the environment. I'm talking about asset-minded people. Now, let me tell you what people do. And this is the thinking. So say a guy. A guy finds a wife, has a child, then tries to figure out his income. So basically, he's paying to have a relationship. No, you figure out the environment first. And when you figure out the environment, that's how you'll figure out the relationship. You don't do the relationship and think the relationship is going to fix the environment. No, it's your job to assess your terrain. Just like if you was in a jungle, you need to know what to eat. You need to know what animals hunt at night. You need to know monsoon season. You need to know the environment, because if you don't, you are going to die. People do the relationship before they do the environment. That is backwards, and that's going to put you on a path to a permanent underclass. And I want to get you out of being a Disney dater into asset-minded, functioning men and women, right? So, look, the relationship, the environment is more important than the relationship. Environment first, relationship down here. What I'm saying is like, okay, I want to be with you, you want to be with me. Before we do that, though, we need to handle this. See, because there's no legislation on the relationships are super easy. Anybody could do it, and that's the problem. It doesn't require intelligence, because if it did, then people would know, like, oh, snap, this might not be the time for me to have 10 children. Kiki Wyatt, right? No, my bad, Kiki. You know what I mean? But yeah, you know what I'm saying? So you don't put the relationship up here and the environment down here. No, it's the environment first. You figure out the environment, and then the pieces to your relationship will come together. All right? Woo, this is a big one. You ready for this one? Another trait of an asset-minded person. An asset-minded person has an expectation of the relationship that has nothing to do with marriage. And I want to shift people's mind frame of that. because I see people get married all the time and everybody's like, congratulations. And I'm like, yo, why though? That doesn't mean anything. What does it mean though? You know what I'm saying? That the expectations outside of the marriage is like this. I love you, I like you, but I expect you to lose weight because I know you can. Guy or girl, I expect you to get in shape. I'm going to be on you about that, right? I love you, I like you, but when I met you, you was a painter. I expect you to keep moving forward in painting. Don't do me before you do painting, all right? Whatever it is, and that's another one where guys and girls different. Women are such Disney daters. A woman will be going to college, have a business, have a whole career going for herself. And the moment a dude gazes at her, she just abandons ship. Now, and then the guy doesn't have an expectation of her to get back on her shit. No, he's like, nah, leave all that, because a lot of guys don't feel like a man if a woman plays a big role in the market. His manhood is based on her having a lot of lack. Come on now. Tip the pastor. You know what I'm saying? So you got to have relationship expectations that have nothing to do with marriage. The expectations has to be based on personal development and moving forward. Because guess what? If that person leaves you, you guys break up, they represent you. They are a walking billboard. So when somebody is in your presence, what do they look like when they leave you? What kind of expectation did you have on them? Or was it just Netflix and chill, my mans? Right? The last one, the traits of an asset-minded person. An asset-minded person is married to results, not married to the ideal of marriage, which means we're going to base our relationship off results and not feelings. For our time being together, what do we have to show for it? Has to be more than children, yo. For our time being together, what do we have to show for our bond? Besides arguments, you feel me? You got to be married to results, not the ideal of just being together or the ideal of marriage. You know what I mean? That's an asset-minded person. Because guess what? If this was a corporation, you have shareholders. Your shareholders are going to want results. You're going to be looking at quarterly returns. You're going to be looking at losses, right? So you got to look at a relationship exactly the same way. All right? So there's so much more to this, but you got to hit me up. There's so much more to what I'm saying, and if you're interested of having relationship success, hit me up. Dial that nothing but game number. That's a 24-hour line, and I'm running a special right now. It's usually $199, but I'm doing $25 flat call, right? Where I help you brainstorm on anything you got going on. Everything confidential. Take yourself serious, right? So only for a limited time. It's $25 flat call. If you're interested of getting more skilled and being asset-minded on the relationship, dial that line, 888-565-8734. I'll be waiting for your call. And go ahead and sock it to my pocket. Show some love to my Cash App. And if you don't do none of that, go ahead and become a member at kenbillions.com, and you can get exclusive content from your boy that don't exist nowhere else online. All right? So I will see you guys next time. Make sure that you are asset minded. Make sure that you're coming into relationships trying to win, and get out of the habit of being a Disney dater, get out of the habit of being a liability, get out of the habit of being a social justice queen and warrior. Get in the habit of being masters of the game. I'll see you next time. Peace.